welcome to Outside the Box, show of shows these days. I'm your host, Kate of Gaia. Boy, this is 3 for 3 today, and look at the All-Stars, Peter and Tony. Hopefully, I sent an email to Patrice. Hopefully, she will call tonight. Just waiting to find that out because I want her story shared. Victory after victory after victory. We finally have these guys cold where we want them. We always knew we would, and we always knew it had to be simple. And what saith you, Peter and Tony? Welcome.
It's round 3. I guess we're looking for a knockout.
Yeah, well, we had the knockout. We've already been making that well known to everyone. So I just had a comment.
Okay.
Here we go again.
Anyway.
It's starting to show just right. You know, hey,
Yeah.
Did you expect anything different?
Yeah, there we go, huh? Didn't take them long, did it? This is so normal. You guys, okay, let's try that again. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
There we go. Tony?
Yep.
You know the routine, Tony. You hear me cutting out, just jump all over, okay?
Okie dokie.
All right, love you guys. Yeah, we're going 3 for 3 today. We did this morning with awakeradio.co.uk, Peter and myself. Then we joined Tony 4 hours ago for a 2-hour shot at thesechangingtimesradio.ning. That's times with a Z or a Z, depending on which part of the world you're from. And here we are on freedomreigns.us. That's the home page with Outside the Box. So, yeah, Pete, we're going to knock this one right out of the park because the knockout punch is here.
Yep.
So where do you want to start? I mean, hey, we go over the grid today. Pumped, ready to rock and roll here.
Yep. Oh, hell. Well, for starters, I posted it on your site so you can share everybody how to get to let me see. Let me pull it up. Of course, my computer's sticking and, you know, all the fun stuff. Let me see if I can get it to work. 1 second. Let me go over to where we're at. Okay. I know I sent it just a minute ago. I think I sent it off to... Santos's box with Diatra, Freedom Reigns, and Tony. The Caffer it's at http://caffer1.com/ and it's a clickable site. It opens right up into Brother Walter's, and it's got a plethora of most outstanding information. It's one of the best sites in America, or in the world, I would say, as far as covering this Caffer issue. If you haven't got, matter of fact, I can't believe it. Brother Jerry, the one I sent you the 15-minute video of, he's on Walter's site now too, because Brother Walter can really take you to the deep end. As far as on the technical end of it, it's sort of like listening to a CPA, because he gets it. It's so right and tight, but it's like watching paint dry. So Brother Jerry's over on his site as well, too, and I posted that 15-minute video earlier in the day. So, matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and post it at suijuris.me. I've already told Mike I would like to get it posted on our videos page because it's 15 minutes of mind-bending truth that will literally, it'll make you mad, folks. It'll make you mad because they've been playing hide the sausage right before our very eyes. There's over 100 trillion. If you were to add up all the counties in America on how much they have in surplus funds and they're crying poverty, you would be there would probably be public hangings by the morning. Sort of like what the bankers are doing. The $110 trillion sitting in these kitties, in these coffers, and they act like they're broke because they're only showing you one side of the books. They're not showing you the asset side where they say, oh, yeah, well, that's to fund all the retirements, which they're trying to beat people out of that on a regular basis. They're across this nation of ours, they're cutting their pay by 20% just to be and making them happy to be having a good slave job on the slave plantation, and they're screwing their brothers' eyes out, and they've got trillions, folks. I mean, trillions. So here we say one thing, but we do another, and we plead poverty. But if you kept a second set of books the way they kept a second set of books, you're going to jail under their system. But they do it, and it's legal. They've been doing it since 1946, folks. They've been posting it every year since 1946. And if you have an inkling to find out what the CAFR numbers are for yours, for your county, you can just go to your website and pull up your own county. And they're not hiding them. They're right there. They just don't explain to you where all the sausage is hiding. And I think I explained earlier in reference to the CAFRs that they have private auditors coming from outside, and they're only telling those auditors, those private auditors, and they're not showing them all the stuff. They're just showing them what numbers they want them to see. So, folks, the chicanery goes far, wide, and deep. It is another proverbial rabbit hole. But, the upside is when you know, you know. And now when the masses know on a huge scale, we're not buying the song and dance no more. Matter of fact, for all those folks paying property taxes, they don't even need your money for the property tax. They got more money than God. All these systems are self-sufficient, self-funded, fully funded. Their retirements are fully funded. And they'll cry poverty, and you're buying the song and dance. Now, there should be front lawn town hall meetings in every county in America on the shake-shifter crap they've been pulling on their brothers and sisters under the guise of that they're broke. So here's another kielbasa sandwich they got us eating. Some more intercourse we're getting from the Commerce Department.
Pete, that's what I love about you, man. You just tell it exactly as it is. This is not a children's show because, well, it can be. It depends on what level of awareness you're at, and some people need to be talked to. I don't care. I know some really, middle-aged, older adults that need to be talked to like children because that's the way the system has conditioned them. And it takes a while to break that program, but we're awakening in a grand order. We're watching it firsthand every day. Beautiful.
Yeah, well, feel free to post Walter's Capper site at your site because they, if you want to find out where all the sausage is hiding, hey, I'm a Yankee. Hey, forget about it. We like Italian sausage. They got enough to feed us every day of the week for the next 100 years of our lives. They got plenty of funds, folks. They just play and hide the sausage. So it's, we covered bonds. We covered the birth certificate securitization scam. We've covered multiple of topics. And after this week, I probably won't be doing many topics on this because I'm fixing to bring the paradigm shift over to the divine province for those who are ready. So if I will give them the meat and potatoes. I will bring them a heaping plate of filet mignon.
Hello.
So you don't have.
Hello.
Yep.
Okay, I just I just got a call come in. I just want to make sure if it's Patrice. And area code 4. Is that you, Patrice?
Yes, it's me.
Yeah, there we go. I just want to make sure you're there. Your mic. I'm leaving your mic hot. We're going to let Peter finish, then he can bring you into the call because, Peter, you need to hear this story. And Tony, the world needs to hear this story. And remember
Patrice, I sent you a couple Xanax so you could slow down for me and a Quaalude. So, hey, I'm a Yankee. I talk fast, but you got me beat 3 times a Sunday, and I listen fast, too, and you're killing me.
Okay.
I love you, sweetheart, but you're killing me over here.
What I'm going to ask you, Patrice, and I got to tell, I know exactly why, because the excitement of what's been going on, it would make me talk 4 times faster. But what I'm going to just be mindful that you have people that need to hear your story concisely because this is such a beautiful story. And I want to talk about the cloud at the very end and cop and everything else. So, Peter,
I'm going to bring Patrice in and I'm going to say, hey, Patrice, take your time, take a breath. It's all good. Hey, hey, I was in the Navy. Hey, I had to learn to slow down a little myself. I mean, you were in the Air Force, or whatever. And you were a captain in the Air Force?
Yes.
Go figure. An Admiralty configuration again. All these captains. Well, that's all right. We're bringing the ship on shore, sweetheart. We're all going to be seagoing instead of swabbies. We're going to be landlubbers. It's beautiful. I love the analogies. But I want to hear your story, and you can take your time. Sweetheart, we got 2 hours, and you don't have to get it in 5 minutes. I promise you, we will listen. Hey, I'm just as bad. I get excited. I forget to take my Quaalude in the morning, and here it goes. Pete goes on a tear, and they says, he forgot his medication again today.
And you know what, Peter? You've nailed it. And I got to tell you, Patrice, I don't care if you take up the last hour and 45 minutes of this show, hon, to get this story across. Take your time, and I want people to hear what victory is all about. And we have others that came in today that we need people to hear about, because until people see, ego needs to see proof. Truth needs no proof. It needs no defense. But what people do need to...
They shut me down.
Fly off.
Okay, I'm here.
Take her away.
Anyways, I really don't want to belabor the hell out of Kaffir. It's self-evident if they just go to the site and they can start trolling in it. I don't want to waste my breath. I want to get to some meat and potatoes and to some truth tonight. So I'm really not wanting to digress a whole bunch. But let me share with you, Patrice. Brother Michael had to go to the ecclesiastical court system, and he put the baby to bed in short order. It was beautiful. No issues. He knew who he was. He stayed in his capacity, knowing who he was as a man, not a fiction. They knew he knew. He showed him his birth certificate bond, and the case is no longer the case. The case is done. It's beautiful, and just wanted to share a little success story with you. But I want you to get on your soapbox, and I want you to take your time. Because if you don't, I'm coming up to wherever you're at, and I'm going to put a Quaalude in your water, and we're going to get you on my page. All right, I love you enough you can take your time. You have the floor, and I'm going to sit back and relax because I've been on this damn phone all damn day. This is my third show, and I'm wore out.
Oh, you have your orders, Patrice. You have your orders.
Hey, Rear Admiral Goslin has just commissioned you to move forward into the bow, and it's all good, and take your time. We want to get the memo tonight. We want to get the memo, so just take your time.
Hey, Patrice.
This is a good story.
Yeah, go.
But you're the one who instigated it, actually, Peter, because, I listen, I take it in, and I go, note to self, next time I'm in this situation, this is what I'm going to do. So there were some things, since the seminar, in early September, we're coming up on, I guess, 5 or 6 weeks out since that faithful turning of the corner for a lot of us at the Divine Province, right? So, as I told you, and you and I didn't really connect, Pete, when we were there, but I told you the day I left, I put the diplomatic ID and the international driver's permit in my wallet and turned the corner and made my copies and noticed people the very next day. So, I left the hotel with printouts in my backpack and started mailing. So me and the post office are familiar, friends. And you had talked about, and then in the ensuing weeks, it's this whole learning, okay, so now I have it, I have these tools. I know how I need to learn how to operate the tools. It's the unfolding education and getting comfortable and, some measure of mastery. So people feel, and I know this because some people have emailed me that I exchanged contact information from the seminar, felt nervous. They have the tools in their hands, but they've been hesitant to use them. And I've been a little bit more bold, as you guys know.
Well, and let me interject something just for a second. See, we're going to have some dialogue. We're going to have some dialogue tonight. This is where we're going with this. This is good stuff. Everybody operates from a different paradigm. What's in between their ears, just because they came over doesn't mean they're psychologically to the other side of the fence. So it's going to take people a few minutes, and that's
right.
fine.
And I understand we actually have a term for that in the officer corps called cognitive readiness. Not everybody, we can equip them, we can organize, train, and equip the troops, but if they don't have the cognitive readiness to execute, we don't deploy them.
Right.
So you're talking about cognitive readiness, the mental. So that has to be there. Even though we can organize, train, and equip you, we can give the tools like JT talked about them. We can have a lot of educational seminars. You and Kate and Tony have been doing a great job the last month really ramping up the educational training briefings. This is what we need to do to get ready. So that's been awesome. I know for me, because I've been listening, and some of the things, Peter, that you've talked about are the ones that have been presenting themselves to me out there. To test those waters and go, oh, really, this thing works. Okay, so, or, oh, really, I need to put the box. Okay, we'll get to the box in a minute, right? I need to do the box. I don't know the boxes, but I'll try it.
Hey, us guys have been trying to get back in the. Hey, Patricia, us guys have been trying to get back in the box our entire lives. We get shot out the chute, and we try to get back in the chute the rest of our lives. It's terrible.
Right. No, so I get that. You know, James talked about, you know, I can set you free in a few days, but can you hold it? You know, can you hold the freedom? So be a freeholder. You know, figure out how to hold on to your freedom and keep exercising it on a day-to-day basis. And you guys are doing a lot to encourage that and teach that and show the way. And I know it's been good for me. And I want to be a voice of, I guess, inspiration. Sometimes leadership is more about, like Kate said, inspiration as opposed to proof. I don't want to prove to you why you might want to do a thing. I want to inspire you to do that thing.
Right.
So sometimes inspiration is more important than proof. And I hope to be, you know, I want my examples and my stories to the people who are listening, who are still holding back, to be encouraged, to be inspired, to laugh a little, to feel like it's, you know, it's okay, you know, to have a queasy feeling and do it anyway. You know, when our 5-year-old doesn't want to go to school, we go, I understand you don't want to go to school today. Do it anyway.
Right. What it comes down to misgivings. Well, Patrice, let me interject something. What it comes down to is you've been living on the public side your entire life. You're not going to get it in 5 minutes to come into the private.
Right.
So this is a transition. It's a psychological transition. And you're throwing off the old you, that dead entity. So you're dying to your old self, literally. I feel like a dadgum death counselor here. My brother Greg made that analogy. He goes, and he calls me, Peter, you're a doctor. You're got to fix them because they're dying to their old self, and you've got to let them go through the process, like the 5 stages of death, and let them throw that guilt off.
Right. Everyone has their own timeline for grieving, and it is a grieving process, and it is an ambiguous loss. Because it's not as clear or defined as death. Huh? Yes?
Patrice, I'm going to do a show one night, and I'm going to talk to everybody about exactly what transition really is. Okay? I've lived it in a very, very real, ethereal, and physical way. So you guys are nailing it, and it is about a transition of shedding the old. And really, you are shedding it and putting it into a pine box and burying it to move into your new role. So you guys are
and there are a lot of emotional responses or physical responses that your mind, your body, your soul will do to you that are unfamiliar, uncomfortable, and all those other things. And again, it comes back to fear and trust. You must not fear them. Your body and your mind and your soul knows darn well where it's leading you to go. You need to listen and be okay with that, even though it's uncomfortable. Right? And so that's okay. That's that queasy stuff we talked about 2 weeks ago, Kate. Remember when I first came on and I said that funny feeling in your stomach? That's okay. That I want to vomit. I'm standing in front of this counter and these people are looking at me and I feel like vomiting. I'm just going to stand there with it and look at them.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is what I did yesterday. Okay, a number of times.
And, hey, Patrice. Okay, I need you to start your story, hon, because
so let's get on with the story. So Peter, you talked about when we first left and we had our IDs and we were trying to notice people and you were making a list. I'm like, I already been sending out notices and I had the welcome to, the welcome thing from the police and I started having this shifting of experiences, right? We talked about that. So now I ramp it up and I heard you talk about a week ago or so about the money orders. You try to go to the money order, you try to go to a bank. Someone else talked about going to a bank and trying to cash something. You said she was looking through the books. And then this issue of, by the way, I was going to send out these additional notices, and Kate had sent this the thing about notarizing and staying in honor and going through trying to exhaust the administrative steps prior to getting injunctive relief, from some of the things that continue to bind us up. And I was a little bit jacked up last week about something that continues to bind me that I'm a little hot under the collar about. So I was still following through on that. I had prepared a bunch of documents to do the next notice, third notice, whatever. Well, I had traveled over the weekend, 2 states away, and I was in Colorado, quirky little state. And I said to my friend who I was staying with, I said, oh, by the way, are you a notary? She said, no. I said, can you help me find when I have a bunch of things I want to notarize and then send off in the mail? She's like, fine, we can go to my bank or something like that, right? So whatever. And I was like, well, typically, my experience has been that when I'm traveling around, if you don't bank at a bank, they don't want to talk to you. You have to be one of their people, and then they'll give you the time of day. I've had that experience. No one will notarize anything unless I'm a member of the bank, and I don't bank anywhere. So she said, that's okay, I'll bring you to mine. So we did this. Now, meanwhile, we had just gone, when I went to see her, of course, I got followed by the, Wyoming police all the way down to the Colorado border, between South Dakota and Colorado. Then, the phones didn't work, so that was, okay, we're used to that they do that to us all the time. And then when I was at her house, for a day or two, and then we went visiting and started, sharing some of the Divine Providence stuff and the Peter, your wonderful site, sui juris, at me, and things that have been happening and stuff, to people who are, we believe are ready. So the cognitive readiness piece, you try to tap the people who are ready and get them going, right? So light a fire, do a little inspiration. And then she said, oh, it's getting late, we need to go. So I had my papers, we went to the bank, and she said to the guy in the bank, I have a visitor from out of town who needs some things notarized. Can you help her? Oh, sure, no problem. And this is where the fun begins, because they go in the back, they get the woman who's the notary on duty, whatever, hasn't left for the day, and she comes out, oh, you need a notary, no problem, can I help you? Sit down at the desk, I break out my documents, and I give her, I make one mistake. First of all, I give her the diplomatic ID, I don't give her the driver's permit, which was a mistake, because they look very similar. And I hand her that, and she goes, oh, this doesn't have your signature on it. I can't compare your signature. And I said, well, and she goes, and this, I'm not, so she looks in a book. She did what you were describing, Peter. Looks in a book, she's doing the thing, goes to another book, looks in the book. She's trying to find, the DP on the roster of whatever books she has, right? Can't find it. I don't know this ID. And I'm like, it's okay. Here's something else where I was previously notarized that has a signature on it. You can compare my signature to this that's also notarized, or another document. And she's like, well, no, I don't know that I can accept this ID, blah, blah, blah. I have to make a phone call. I said, be my guest. Go make your phone call. So she goes to the corner, gets on the phone. I don't know what happens, but she comes back and starts to become extremely nervous and tells me she's waiting for a fax. And then she proceeds to tell me, she goes, well, I'm waiting for a fax to see what I'm allowed to do with you, right? And so then another guy comes over, and he whispers in her ear, as long as it's, he brings her the fax or something like that, and he goes, as long as there's a picture and there's a number, you can take it, right? So she goes, oh, okay. And then she has her fax, and on the fax she's going, oh, these are the top 3 things. It has to be a valid driver's permit. I said, oh, we could fix that. I said, here, let's trade. And I take back the first ID, and I give her the other one, which is the international driver's permit. I said, there, now you have a valid driver's permit. Okay, I'm sorry, I gave you the wrong one. Let's swap. And she goes, oh. And then her hand starts to shake. This woman was in fear mode, total fear mode. I don't know what transpired on the phone, between the phone and the fax and her travels back to the desk. But she was in fear mode. Her hand was shaking. She could barely perform the functions of signing and stamping the documents that I wanted her to notarize. And she started mumbling. I just don't, I could be, have my notary taken. I guess I'm just not worldly. I've never seen an ID like this before. I don't know this driver's permit, but I guess it's fine. I said, well, do you want to see certificate of identity? Because I have 2 witnesses assigned who I am, and this is a picture of me, and I have another. No, I believe that it's you, and this is who you are. Her wording was very interesting. She goes, but I just, and then she just was like mumbling, oh, this woman was in so much fear. I could feel the fear. It was palpable to me. I'm like, oh my God, I didn't do anything to intimidate her. But something changed between when she first started to help me. She went to the phone and came back and started to, well, she was apologetic. I'm very sorry. I didn't mean to obstruct. I'm not trying to give you a hard time or anything. Let's just get the documents done. She starts getting like that, like, oh my God, what happened to this woman? And then she says, then she gets her little signature book out, right? So she gets the signature book out. There's a whole book of signatures where you have to sign in their little book that she notarized something for you, who you are, where you live, or that. So you said, she puts the name, then she goes in, what is your address? So I go to give her a P.O. box, because those of you who know my situation know I do not have a current physical permanent address where I sleep in the same consistent place every night right now. So I don't have a physical address. So I give her a P.O. box. Oh, no, I need a physical address. Right? So I call my friend over who's waiting in the waiting area, and I said to her, Jan, hey, look, what is my physical address today? Because I was staying with her, right? She's like, so as of the day of that signing, that was my physical address. So she gives her address, and the woman just writes it. She's like so eager to get me out of there. Now, meanwhile, that was the first night. So the next morning I make to leave, and I'm going to travel back through Colorado, Wyoming, and get back to South Dakota. So I'm like, oh, gee, I really need to mail these things. I'll mail them in the morning. So I get to like a town, fairly populated town in Wyoming. I cross the border. And I go and I get coffee and I go, oh, darn it, I forgot to print off one more thing I wanted to include. So I go and I print it up at Office Max and I go, where do you have a notary? They're like, is there UPS? So I go to her, that notary, no problem. She takes the ID, signs it, boom, not a problem, right? Boom, notarizes it. I go, where's the post office? And as it is, I have a money order, Peter. You're going to love this, right? 2 weeks ago, I cashed a money order using the VP form of status, notifying them who you are. And she wrote it, I signed it, I got the cash. It was not a problem, a few $100s. So I said, well, this worked before, I shouldn't have any problem. I made one change, though. See, when I was at the notary the day before and I signed her book of signatures in the bank, I had remembered Kate saying, always put the box where I should train. I hadn't trained myself yet to do that. So I said, oh, okay, I need to now, every time I sign something, I need to put a box. So when I did it at the bank with the notary in her little book of signatures, and I got past the physical address problem, she said, I need you to sign. I signed my all lowercase name and then put a nice little blue box around the name. And she didn't say anything. She was eager to close that book, sign my thing, send me a nice thing, get me out of her bank. Okay, so nothing transpired with that box. Now, next morning, I'm ready to go, and I've got 3 packages I want to mail, express mail envelopes, and I have to pay for the express mailings, right? And then I'm going to get back on the road. So I tell the clerk, Kate's already heard this, so I tell the clerk, oh, I want to use this, I want to cash this money order, $1,500, and then I'll pay for the mailing. So why don't we transcribe the money order first and redeem the money order, and then I'll be able to pay. While you're doing that, I'll finish preparing the express mail envelopes, we'll pay for that, and I'll take the change. And she says, okay. She takes the money order, and she goes, oh, no. And I go, what? She goes, you don't want to walk around with a blank money order. I said, no, I'd like to redeem it right now for the cash. She goes, do you have ID? I need to see ID, right? So I give her the driver's permit, the same as I had done 2 weeks earlier in a different town in a different state. And she says, okay. And so she starts to write on my blank money order the information off the ID. Fine, that's not a problem. And then she turns it over and says, you need to sign it. Well, I was already in my habit yesterday. I'd already conditioned myself that now, from now on, whenever I sign something, I put a box around it. So I signed the same way I did yesterday with the notary, and I signed my all lowercase name, and then I put a box around it, all in blue, right? And I give it back to her. Then she proceeds to know, and she goes, oh, I made a mistake. I don't have $300 in my drawer. I can't cash this, right? So she starts getting weird. But I don't know why. I just want to go. I go, well, you have to cash it because now we sold it, and I need to pay. I said, well, just pay out the mailings and give me change. Oh, well, and then she asks the clerk next to her, do you have cash in your drawer? I need cash. He goes, oh, no, I only have $50 because he's listening out of one ear with what's going on. So she goes 2 drawers down to the clerk 2 doors down. Do you have the money? No, I don't have any money either in my drawer. So she tries to tell me that there's no money, that it's too early in the morning, that they only start with $100 in their drawer, and she's unable to redeem the money order. Okay, so I just look at her. I said, I never heard of such a thing. This is a postal money order. You've already filled it in your handwriting. And I said, you need to redeem it and complete the transaction. And she said, well, I'm not able to. I'm going to have to send you next door to the Walmart or something like that. I said, she goes, go to your bank. I said, I'm not from here. I'm traveling through. I don't have a bank account. I said, why don't you escort me to the bank that you believe will redeem it? And if you're not going to redeem it, then you need to come with me and escort me to the bank that will redeem it, if the post office is not going to honor its own money order, right? So we're getting into this kind of, the tension now has increased, right? So I said, why don't we focus on mailing the express mails, and we'll come back to the money order. So the money order sits there, we do the express mailings, and then she goes, and I said, you're going to have to help me. I said, if you're telling me you're not going to honor this, then you need to find someone in this town that will, right? So, because you already prepared it in your handwriting, and now you didn't finish the transaction. And so she goes, I'll be right back. And she goes to the back. She's gone for 20 minutes. Right? She's got my ID. She's gone. She comes like, I don't have enough money to redeem your money order. I said, she goes, and I called Walmart. They won't take you. And neither will such and such. And these stores, she called around. So she says she called around. I have no clue. But, I took her face value for that. And I said, well, then you need to get the supervisor. I said, because I'm not leaving until I get this money. I said, because I'm not going to wander around with I already filled that money order that you need to redeem now. And I came in here with a blank one that could have been redeemed by anybody in any name at any time in any place. And now you have filled it and bound it to be redeemed here at this counter. I said, it was ready at the ready for me anywhere. Now it's not anymore. So you need to complete the transaction. Right? So she goes, she goes, all right. Now I'm already at her counter for half an hour at this point. Going on 40 minutes. She goes in the back again for another 15 minutes. Okay, so then we're pushing an hour. I'm feeling to get the line to this post office is out the door. Okay, so she comes back. Okay, then the supervisor comes and she's going to play, good cop, bad cop with me. She's going to be sweet and go, hi, I'm so and so, and I understand you have a money order. I go, yes. Then I need you to cash it. And she goes, well, it's not the clerk's fault, because she's only has so much money that they're given in their drawer at the start of the morning, and she hasn't had enough sales yet to accumulate enough cash to redeem her money order. I said, it's not the start of the morning. It's 11 o'clock now. I've been at the post office for an hour. And right? And I said, you're going to tell me nowhere in all this building that we can't scrape up $300 in any of the drawers or any of the tills to redeem this money order? I've never heard such a thing. You're kidding me, right? And she said, well...
The plot thickens. Keep going. I'm loving this.
Right. I said, you're kidding me, right? And so she goes, well, it's not the clerk's fault. I said, I have zero anger or upset with the clerk. I'm not faulting her for anything. The transaction is half complete, and you have an obligation to complete it. She just looked at me.
Very good.
She stared at me, the supervisor. And she said, well, we'll be back, right? So she disappears again for the third time in the back for 15 minutes. And then she comes out. She goes, you're going to have to go to another location or another post office or somewhere else to try to redeem it. I said, no, I'm going to stand right here at this counter at this location with your handwriting and your obligation to redeem that money order. You are obligated to redeem it, and I will stand right here until you do.
Cool.
Right?
And standing fast in the, we call that standing fast in the breach.
Hey, I got to tell you.
Yes, exactly.
Hey, Patrice, I got to tell you, this is a compliment of compliments coming from Kate of Gaia. I have never met my match in Bitch Fest in all my life until I met you. Just keep it running.
I wasn't being bitchy to her. I was just being adamant, right? So I said, well, you're leaving me stranded. I'm traveling, and you need to fulfill this. I said, that wasn't the deal. When I came to the counter, she said she was going to cash it, and then she changed her mind. I said, you guys are trying to convince me you don't have enough money between 3 drawers or whatever's back in those cash bags back there. Somewhere I know in this building, there's $300 worth to be raised. So I said, it's not a lot of money. And so I said, so somehow we need to find a solution. And so the whole time she's talking to me, the clerk is hanging her head because she knows this supervisor lying to me. She goes, well, it's not the clerk's fault. I said, I have not 1 ounce of anger toward the clerk. I'm not upset with her. I just want the transaction completed. Right? So me and the supervisor locked eyes. And if those of you who know me in person know as an ASD person, I don't always hold eye contact. I have to really be intense about doing it. And I locked eyes with her, and the clerk was holding her head down. And she said, okay, well, and then she goes, just wait here. And they disappeared again in the back. Within 5 minutes, that clerk was back with a wad of cash in her hand, a whole pile of 20s, and a white envelope. And then she starts counting out the $300, right? And she asks the clerk next to her, do you have $50? Do you have $50? Do you need $50? And he gives her 2 20s or something like that, right? Then she goes, oh, I have to verify the money order, right? And so she goes behind the counter to a machine, and she's trying to put the money order in the machine. She goes, I have to verify it, right? And she looks at the other clerk who's giving her eyes, and she goes, is this what happens to the machine, right? And I didn't know what she was doing, but so then she has a little white envelope, and she's marking down names on the envelope. So I happened to notice it, and I go, so what'd you do, go in the back and pass the hat or something? I was joking. And she looked at me. Now she's locking eyes with me. Supervisor's gone, and it's just me and the clerk again. And in a very soft voice, I said, what'd you do, go pass the hat? And she goes something like that.
Damn. Wow.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, you know why? Because you pinned them down on a dead instrument. They weren't going to be able to hypothecate it, and that was the whole reason why they wanted to block you.
Hey, Patrice.
Oh yeah, but the whole time I was there, I had yes.
I got to tell you, hon, we've already had 4 hours of bragging about you all day today. So Pete's got the lowdown on exactly what happened. So I'm going to get a beautiful thing. So carry on.
All right. So she looks at me. We lock into eye contact. Meanwhile, because I was there so long and I had to go out to my car, back into my car, the line. She didn't handle one person in her line for well over an hour. Okay. So that means the entire time my car is tagged, I'm being tagged, and I was ready to go and get my business out of the car because I carried copies of the Title 18 with me and everything like that. I was getting very close to because I was trying to think through. I'm like, okay, if they're really gonna pull stuff with me, because when she came back that final time and had the money in her hand, my next move was, okay, I need to talk to the postmaster, and we're going to have a USC Title 18 conversation. I was where I was headed, and they must have known it, because I didn't say it, but in my own head I was prepared for it, and she came back out with the cash. So I said, okay, case closed now. And then she said, okay, here's your money, and she had a little envelope, and she was putting names on the envelope. And then she tried to run
Right, because they all got some bucks coming back because they're not going to be able to hypothecate the interest of the instrument.
Yeah, she was writing down God, $40, so I don't know where she got it. I said, that's what made me joke with her because I said, it looks like you went in the back and passed the hat. You know. and so I was joking with her, but then I could see she was really not happy, so And she looked at me and locked eyes with me because the supervisor's gone. In a very small voice, she goes, well, you have a nice day and safe travels, right? So I said, okay, thank you. And I said, can we dial down the tension now? Are we good? She goes, yeah. I go, that was a lot of tension in a very long hour. She said, yes, I know. I said, are we good? She said, yep. I said, okay, well, you have a nice day, too. Thank you very much for your help. Boom. And that was it. We leave. I leave, right? So, of course, what do you think happens? Do you think that I can leave peacefully and just drive all the way back to South Dakota? No,
Patrice. I'm not sure if I missed. I'm not sure if I missed or not. But why don't you? Did you bring up the part where you asked her to check to see if it was valid?
Oh, she decided herself. She said, "Oh, I have to run the money order, right?" And before she gives me the cash, she goes, "Oh, one last step." And she goes, turns to this machine, and she goes, "Oh, is the machine broken?" She's talking to the other clerk, I don't know what she was doing with the actual money order. I said, do you need the top back? And she goes, no. And I said, okay. And she goes, I need to verify it. And then she in kind of like a half-hearted show, she tells the other two clerks that are there, she goes, oh, yep, it's real. She makes a little announcement. I'm like, oh, that was a bizarre, commentary to the wind, right? So
okay, now,
I'm like,
Patrice,
yeah?
before we go on to the next episode, which is just as much fun for everyone, I do want to break. Didn't I tell you guys this is a shit, man? This is the shit we're talking about. Game on and over. Okay, I'll just give a quick synopsis. When Peter's talking about hypothecating, what he's talking about is when a signature is put on a piece of paper under Section UCC 3-419, what you've done is become an accommodating party, at which point you are loaning your signature to the party, the accommodation party that you're giving it to, and they can do whatever they want to copy that signature to monetize the living snot out of it. And then what Patrice has done by boxing the signature is she's made that a non-negotiable instrument. She killed that money order dead in its tracks. It is now a $300 deficit on the International Monetary Fund to zero, which is a huge deal. It is a worldwide deal. And I don't think people are going to grasp exactly what I'm saying, but I know exactly what she did. So what has happened to that piece of paper that was $300 paid for with fiat debt notes has become a dead piece of paper, and it is fit only for one thing at that point, for the garbage. So I guarantee you the supervisor got everyone to pass the hat. She would pay them back out of her own paycheck when it came in on Friday, which is 2 days from now, to make sure that their $20 they tossed in here and the $40 there, that it would be covered. So what you did was you put a slam dunk into the system. And this is why I'm telling people now that, and I've been saying this for 2 years, if you put a signature on anything, put a box around it, because it lifts it off the paper. It's very critical information. And the reason why the girl did not validate that postal money order was because if she did, she'd throw the system out to $300. And that's why she hesitated, because that paper that she had in her hand was cashed. It was done. It was dead. No more creating hypothecation, or as what Peter was saying, no more can that piece of paper be monetized, turn it into tenfold of what it was on the face value. Patrice, in one fell swoop with one little box, killed $200 of international monetary money. Just like that.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah, 300 times whatever they would have monetized it to, right? The 100 times over on that. So it would have become.
It's multiplied by 9. But it's 9 to the base, and then it's another 9. It's goofy math. It's all it is goofy math.
So it would have blown up to like $100,000 or something stupid like that, right? So, yeah, right, okay. And also take note that she never opened her drawer or ran it through the computer. She came from the back with cash in her hand. She did not do anything computer-wise to run that money order and post it.
Yeah, what people need to get here, Patrice, what they really need to get from this conversation that we're having, this beautiful conversation, is the power that you wield as an individual. What Patrice did single-handedly was cost the system literally millions in hypothecation money. And the fact that it was not run through the computer, the fact that it was not validated, is all, quote, proof.
Yeah, she didn't. I was paying attention to those details, but I just took note, and I said, okay, I got my money, I'm out of here. So then when I was out of there, guess what? You think I was going to be left alone, leaving the post office to drive happily back to where I've been hanging out? No. No, the word was out. And so I started driving through the beautiful Wyoming countryside, and within an hour or so, I passed a nice, big, bright, green, dark Army character on the side of the road, which I recognize as a tactical communications device. And less than 30 minutes after passing said device, I had a nice conversation with a Wyoming State Trooper who decided that I should be pulled over and talked to about my safety driving. Which by this point, a large, dark, really weird cloud and a lot of tumbleweed winds and high gusts, really pushing the cars everywhere on the highway had drummed up out of nowhere. And I was being pushed over the road. I was really kind of okay, these are mountainous roads. If any of you know the Wyoming Territory, it's up and down and through the hills and all this sort of stuff, right? So here he comes, pulls me over. And, the wind is roaring, and I have my window down. First thing I do with state troopers is I lock the doors. I won't open the doors. I don't open windows. I don't do anything. And I slap my, I usually slap in the old way, so I'm like, I have the old way and the new way. So normally in my old way, I slap my ASD card up in there. Like, I get weirded out with cops and law enforcement and not understanding and being tricked and all this stuff. So I'm hyper vigilant and hypersensitive to that because I've been so exploited. So I usually just put that up and I make them read my disclaimer. I don't even speak. I just I hold it in the window and they have to read it through the window. Once I realize that they are going to be calm with me, I will crack the window an inch or two and speak and talk to them. They're like, okay, can you roll down the window more because I need to talk to you? And I'm like, no, because I don't want to roll the window more because I do not consent to you reaching into my car, touching me, restraining me, or doing anything of that sort. He goes, I'm not going to touch you or restrain you. I said, good, so we've covered that. We've covered that base.
Very good, Captain. Hey, Captain, that's how you got to tell them what time it is. And, hey, you're right. You're not. You know, it's all good.
Right, so then he says, right, can you roll the window down more? I said, I can, but I'm not going to. But I can't hear you, and you and I need to communicate. I said, well, then I don't like you in the middle of the highway, and I don't want to be responsible for that. So please go on the other side and talk to me through the window that's over there by the passenger's window. So that you're not, and I'll roll that one down, and I don't want you reaching in the car because I'm going to roll it down enough for you to speak, but I'm not going to open it, and I'm not going to unlock the door. I do not consent to anything other than just talking to you through the window. And he said, okay. And then he starts with, is this your car? And I said, it's mine to use. Oh. And he goes, do you have proof of a driver's permit and a registration for this vehicle? And I said, yes, I do. And he goes, okay, may I see your ID? So I reach around back, I get my backpack out, blah, 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 and of course I give the DP International Driver's Permit, and I give him that. And I said, but you can't take it from me. I will give it to you, but I do not consent to you keeping it. You will have to give it back to me, right? And he goes, I will. And I said, fine. I also do not consent to you tricking me into giving it to you and then lying to me that you're going to keep it. Right?
Damn. That's good. I love this. I love this. Hey, you know what? Yeah, don't blow smoke. Don't tell me it's raining out and you're gonna blow smoke up my backside. You know.
Right. Well, my favorite saying, Peter, is the one: don't point at the sky, and don't pee on my leg and point at the sky and tell me that it's raining. Right.
Hey, guys,
so,
I want to jump in here. What Patrice is wielding right now is what I've infamously called my aluminum pink bat to take the ball out of the park, and she didn't just take it out of the park. She smashed every car windshield in the parking lot over the green monster on this one. Keep going, kiddo. This is just rocking everyone.
Yeah, well, but ironically, it's because I've been lied to and tricked so much that I'm just like really hypersensitive to it. I'm not doing it out of any sort of, Powerball knowledge that you seem to possess, and you guys have a command of those details better than I do. I'm just doing it because I'm hypersensitive to being deceived, right? So I said, fine. I said, well, then I'll let you look at it, as long as you're not going to lie to me that you're tricking me to give it to you so that you can walk away. He says, no, I'm not going to trick you either. I said, fine. So then I gave him the idea. I let him look at it. Then he said, do you have a registration? And I said, yes, I do. And he said, may I see it? I said, I'll show it to you so you can see it. So I pull it out and I hold it up in the car so you can see something. He goes, no, I need to touch it. I said, no, you don't need to touch it. You said you wanted to see it. And I'm not playing a game with you.
Yeah, you don't see with your fingers, you see with your eyes, bozo. You know what the hell?
Right, I said, I'm not playing a game with you. I said, but this is another thing where we're starting a new negotiation because you already got my ID. Now you want to take the registration. I said, but if you want to touch it so you can read it closer because you can't see it from where I'm holding it, that's one thing. I said, but I do not consent to you walking away from the vehicle with it. You can look at it and see it, and I'm going to put it right back. And he said, okay, that's fine. I said, and I don't not consent to being tricked on this one either. So he said, fine. So I handed him the registration slip through the window right across the passenger's seat, and enough for him to stick his hand in. I only had the window open wide enough for him to stick, up to like his wrist in, right? So like he can stick his hand in and get the paper for me, but that's about it, right? So. And so he stands there and he reads it, and then he pushes it back through the window opening. It says okay, and I put it. Yeah, oh no, I'm like really adamant about these things. So then I put it back in the box. I said, "Are you satisfied?" Yes. And he said, "Well," he goes, "Do you know why I was pulling you over?" I said, "No, because he said, you were driving 85 and a 75, which, of course, they have to pick the maximum because I don't speed. I have an incredibly clean record. And even if I do, I stay within 5 or 7 miles of the limit because I know 10 is their maximum before they say they can trap you for speeding, right? So I would never go, if it was 65, I won't go past 75. If it's 70, I'm not going to go past 80. So like, I already know this, right? So he picks the maximum. You were going 85 and a 75. And I said, I was being pushed around by the wind, by the black menacing stuff. And he goes, yes, I know. I was being pushed too. I said, push badly into the truck with the sign. You know the blank signs you guys are putting up on the highways? And he goes, yeah. I said, well, there was a truck with a sign. I was being pushed into him, so I accelerated to get away, and there you were. That's why you caught me at 85. Not because it's going to be speeding. He goes, it's not safe to speed. I said, I know. And so he goes, well, I need to verify you. I said, you can verify me. Take that card and go verify me all you want. Or call the number on the back. Do whatever you want. I said, but then you need to give it back, and we'll go from there. And so he said, okay. He goes, will you just sit here quietly, please, so I can go back to my car? I said,
hey,
yes.
Patrice.
Yes.
Do you know why I call it the pink aluminum bat? Because that's the sound an aluminum bat makes when you rattle off the back of someone's head that needs it. Pink. Get it? Okay,
no, but
there you go.
he was being very friendly. He didn't antagonize me.
Nope.
Yeah, so, like, I got past all the obstacles first with my ASD card. I said, if you want to, you can call the first responder thing on that. He said, I don't need to. I get it. Then when he went around the other side of the car, we went through all the machinations of I do not consent to being tricked. He said, I'm not going to trick you. And I said, okay. Then when he said, can I go to my car with your ID and check on your status? I said, fine. So meanwhile, he had given up on the insurance thing because originally he had asked me for a driver's license, insurance, registration, all that stuff. And I never even really pulled the insurance card out, but I do have the insurance. And I said, do you want it? He just looked at me. He didn't even answer. And I said, fine. So I put it back. And if he's not going to answer, then I'm not going to give it, right? So then he took the ID and went to his car, of course. Well, now I have no clue what he was doing in his car. He took me 5, 7, 8 minutes, something like that, less than 10, somewhere between 5 and 10 minutes. And then he comes up again to the side, quietly, calmly. He knows I'm watching him through the mirror, but so then he comes up to the window and he gives me the same Officer Smith Cheshire Cat smile that I got from the welcome committee after the seminar in September. So he comes up with this Cheshire Cat smile, and he locks eye contact with me like the supervisor did in the post office, because there's another detail that I realized, Kate, about the post office that I forgot, that I didn't realize when I told you the story first. There's a detail that I figured out today when I was post-processing. So he gives me to lock my eyes, and he says, I would like to give you a warning and ask you to drive more safely. I said, okay. He goes, I'm not going to give you a ticket. I said, okay. And he goes, but I want to give you a warning. I said, okay. On the blue paper? He said, yes. I said, that's fine. So so he goes, I'm going to give you, right? Like, so we're having this, like, little polite conversation, right? He goes, but I need to ask you a question. Do you know the speed limit on our roads? And I said, yes, it's 75. And you already said that you were accusing me of going 85 in the 75. He says, that's correct. He goes, will you learn the speed limit? And I go, yes. And he goes, okay, then that's my warning to you with this blue paper. And he goes, I hope that you have a very nice day, and I want you to know something. I said, what's that? He goes, I'm here to help you, not to trick you.
Well, that's the first I've ever heard.
Yep.
Because with these bastards, it's always tricks is for kids. You know what I'm saying? They're looking to get you to traverse, make you an offer. Hey, Patrice, let me run with this for a second. I'd have told him, nope, I don't want your damn blue ticket either, bro. You need to keep that because that doesn't apply to me. So you know what? You can put it in the circular file, whatever you like to do. But now I'm going to pass on that offer. I said.
No, I let him give me the blue ticket. I don't care. It's like, give me a buttercup. Can I give you, a daisy to smell for the day? Fine. When the daisy dies, I throw it away. That's it. The daisy's nice.
I love the way you think, love. I love the way you think. And again, look at the color of the paper, blue.
Yeah. That's some irony. Ecclesiastical blue.
I don't know why it was on blue. I didn't really look at it. I shoved it in my backpack and said thank you. I said thank you for the warning, right? Like he's giving me a gift, right? So I said, okay, thank you so much for the warning. And then he said, I'm here to help you, not to trick you. Do you understand? And I said, yes. And so I said, that's fine. I said, so then I looked at him. We had, like, locked eyes for a little bit, like I did with the supervisor. I said, well, officer. And he said, yes. I said, thank you for not tricking me. So I thanked him for being honorable, right? So, because I didn't want to be tricked. I'm tired of all these deceitful things that they do, right? So then when I started to leave, the black clouds and all that wind gusting, and I didn't see any more green military equipment or any of that kind of stuff. And then I just made my way all the way back, another 4 hours of driving, and nobody bothered me. So, but they had me pegged since the post office because he wanted to get a hold of their ID and see if it was the same person in that car using that ID, driving this vehicle, and was it really me? That's what they were after. I know that's what they wanted to see. You know they did. I don't know what else to tell you.
All I can say,
other than the fact that my 3 express mails probably hit their destination today. So I'm sure whatever happened on the other end lit up today. Yeah, so I don't know those repercussions yet.
Yeah, you know, absolutely. And this is one of the things that I want to get across to people. They are getting the memo. And I just want to announce on the air that, you know, Patrice and I are now engaged. If she can handle dancing with a tranny, it's all good. Oh, my God.
Right, so
honestly.
here's the thing. Right, so I'm like, okay, obviously the Wyoming State Troopers didn't get my memo, so I had to put them on my list, Peter, because I got to send out more Rhode Island State Police memos of who I am, who we all are. I'm going to expand it. Like, here, I'm an example of people from the Delaware province. So if you see an ID like this, or you want to cross people like this, you know, we really don't like to be tricked. Your officer was very nice. Maybe I'll praise him and say, your guy was really great. Can you train everyone else to be like that? I just might send a thank you letter to the Wyoming Rhode Island State Police. That might be my next notice, since, you know, they didn't get the memo, Peter, but I'll give them a thank you memo for playing nice.
That's exactly how you go at things with peace and love. We're here to wake them up, and every time...
Yeah, so I think I might write that one. You know, your guy was nice to me.
every time you have an interaction like this, you are what I call planting seeds. And in order to have a beautiful orchard, we have to plant seeds, and they have to be planted in peace and truth, love, and honor.
Right, because we want to educate them, right? So we're trying to educate them. But it started out with them. He was probably sent to find me after the post office incident, not knowing what it was all about, right? And you know, so I turned him basically, you know, into like, look, there's nothing funny going on. It just has to be an honest transaction. I'm driving on the road. I didn't do anything, so we can have a conversation. You say you're in my window saying you and I need to communicate. So I'm like, that's fine. We can communicate. And then I want to be on my way. Okay? So I guess I'll write the memo that says your guy's doing a real good job communicating. I don't know.
I think so. I think you're doing a great job. That's just me, though, you know? You know, and unless they train the rest of your guys, because we don't like tricksters on the road. So please don't do that. And train the rest of your guys. Let him run the training class because he did a good job. Okay? Yeah, you know, go ahead, Peter. Go ahead.
It's like Brother Mike, you know, they tried doing a little bit of tricks for kids with him, and they couldn't get him to come play. It was beautiful. He maintained his composure. He maintained his stature. He knew who he was. He stood in his bed, just like you did, Patrice. You stood fast. With me, I'm sort of I try to be harmonious, but you know what? I just got this little wild hair. It's a damn Yankee thing, I think. But I like to have some fun with them. I like to take them to the psychological deep end. It's just the way I'm wired. I'm totally different than everybody else. Me, it's not so much being adversarial, it's taking them to the deep end and saying you're well aware that now that you've stepped out of your car, you're operating your full, unlimited commercial liability. And matter of fact, I need you to go get your daddy. That would be your supervisor, and I need you to have him brought forward so that we can resolve this issue here and now. See, that's the way I like to play because, matter of fact, I'll be looking for some hazard bonds while we're at it. Matter of fact, I need to know the number of your risk management office as well as the underwriter of that bond. See, this is not being argumentative. This is being because I know they're dicks and I'm going to have some fun. You see, because I can, because I know shit, and this is where I run. It's just the way I'm wired. So, let me share something with you, and I'm going to prove a point. When you start asking, here we come back to this goofy bond shit. It's about being in harmony. But let me tell you something. Not only are the judges flying without a net, the dadgum cops are flying without nets too. They have no hazard bond. So if they want to stand there, once most people are not aware of, once they get out of their car and come back and traverse into your world, i.e. walk out, they're no longer in their world. They're standing in front of you in their full unlimited commercial liability, and I bet you didn't know that.
No, but I guess on some level, I mean, because I just the way that we dealt with one another. He and I don't know how he was sent. He was obviously, sent to find me. There was the post office incident that was the precursor to it, and he didn't really know what they were dealing with. They don't know if I'm CIA. They don't. They have to be going down their own paranoid minds. Like, who is this chick? She was in the post office. She she had them all lit up over there. Who knows what was in their their protocol.
Okay. Let's retract back. Yeah, there's a boogeyman with these clowns of the circus behind every rock. They have nefarious intent in their hearts because that's how they operate. So they always think the worst because that's how they're programmed. See, because their mindset is not from a position of honor. They're operating from a position of skullduggery, deception, underhandedness, and bullshit. So if you have no honor in your heart, when I deal with you, we're gonna cut through the wheat and the chaff, and I'm gonna say, get your risk manager number. I need the risk management number of your county, as well as the name of the underwriter of your bond, and then we can have a talk. And you know what? They're going to say, have a nice day, Mr. Peter. We'll catch you later. Because you know why? When you broach the bond shit, they're operating and flying without a net. And I know that clown in front of me is now stepped into my world. See, I am operating as Peter Eugene, not as a fiction, not some corporate entity, not some revenue generation schmuck. I'm fixing to bring my world into you brought your world into mine. Now you're standing on my ground. I'm in the divine process. I'm operating in a free, unlimited commercial liability capacity as a free man. Once you step out your car, you come to my window. You are now operating in the same capacity. You just didn't get the memo, but I'm going to give you the memo as we speak. You can ask for anything you want, and I'll be glad to give you whatever you want. I'm going to go in harmony, sweetheart. But first, I'm going to need to see the name of the underwriter of your bond, the name of the risk management company, and your supervisor's name. That's all I'm going to be asking for. I
must have startled him, though, Peter, because he must have been prepped to expect something more after the episode in the post office. But I must have startled him with being just so disarming on him, and so he probably was prepared for a lot more of where I was at because the tension in the post office was very high. I'm here to tell you, the chick in the bank was all fear. And the episode of the post office was all major, big-time tension going on. Behind the scenes, back and forth. There was a lot of machinations in the post office. Yep.
Good.
Guys, I just want to jump in here for a second because you guys are hitting on a beautiful idea here, a concept rather. One of the things, and people have got to understand that these guys are trained you mentioned words like sovereign or sovereign citizen or free man or any of this crap. These guys are trained to pounce. And when they come across a peaceful entity, which we always are, I mean, regardless of what they want to tag on free people, we're always peaceful. At least the ones I know are. And it's very unnerving for them because what they run into immediately is a short out in the program because what they're expecting and what they've been trained to expect is some, a militia.
A belligerent. They're looking for a belligerent.
Right. Yeah. Exactly, Peter. That was my word too. Yep.
Yeah, we don't fall under the law of occupation here because
well, Kate, they may consider me a belligerent, but I'm not a belligerent. I'm just asking for the dadgum bond because he's operating his full commercial unlimited liability. I got to see the bond. That's all it comes down to for me. Because if you're going to play in my sandbox, you better have a freaking bond so I can lien something if I have to go there. If I
here's
become
the thing,
damaged.
It's like this, when any of my friends ever sit around and you want to play some poker, well, sure, well, I want to see the money on the table.
Right.
If you're gonna raise my busted flesh, I'm gonna bluff you. My money's on the table there, and if I go down, it's because my bluff got called, and that's what calling the bonds bluff is all about. And this is where we stop it before it goes to court, because as soon as you're in their church, and that's what court is, it's a church. When you're under a magistrate or a justice of the peace or whatever the hell you want to call these guys, they're all, funny-looking dressed people, and they're dumbed down more than we are. The judge that I'm after now is the mayor of every city or municipality or borough, which includes counties, etc. And anything that happens within their jurisdiction, they're liable for. And this is why, every judge, here I'll just say that here in Canada, I'm originally from Ireland, but here in Canada, they think that you don't elect judges, but actually you do. They're called mayors. And then the mayor appoints proxy, the judge, the chief magistrate of the city, appoints their proxies in a circuit as they travel around. But as soon as they enter the city limits, that judge / mayor / CEO of the city corporation is fully liable and responsible and accountable for all the actions of the officers, be they officers of the court or officers driving around in cruisers pretending to be Navy boys.
Right, it's delegated authority. They delegate their authority through through them.
In this case, guys, shit does roll uphill, and that's why I'm not going to waste my time trying to deal with corporals when I can go right after them, after the admirals, because the truth of the matter is, every mayor of every city of this planet is actually an alderman for the Lord Mayor of the City of London, who is the king of the world in terms of judges. And that's who we're after. So I mean, when you start seeing all the pieces and putting them all together, the trickery's over. They're done. And this is
between the shows we've done over the last few days, between the birth certificate bonds, the CAFR accounts, the bonds themselves, the DAs not having their bond in play, their hazard bond on the deal. They are operating naked, folks. They are operating so naked in their full commercial liability, and they don't have a pot to piss in and a window to throw it out of. So they got to suck your energy dry through trying to draft you for performance, doing this shake-shifter, sleight of hand, and it's just a card game. You know what? But I'm good at cards. See, I'm going to call your freaking bluff every stinking time because I know how to go to the deep end very quickly because that's who I am. That's my personality. That's my mindset. And I'm gonna cut through the wheat and the chaff. I'm gonna ask you a direct question. See, because the king asks questions. He doesn't answer questions. He asks them. Do you have a bond in play, brother? Are you flying without a net? And I expect a response. And you ain't getting away from me because I'm gonna stay on your ass until I get my answer. Because that's what the king does. See, the king the king doesn't answer questions. He asks the questions. He doesn't answer. He asks.
Do you know why they call them sovereigns, Peter? Why someone that would be deemed a king or a queen is considered sovereign? Because
they're independent and they don't answer to nobody. The king asks. It's his will. You operate under your will.
Yeah, well, okay, that's that. But I'll make it even simpler for people because it falls into the 10 commercial maxims, of which they all fall under. We all do. And what it is, one of the maxims states it very clearly that truth is sovereign. So when a king speaks, the reason why they call them sovereigns, the king is supposed to have and know the truth. And that's why I am not a sovereign. I am simply a truth seeker.
And remember what I said about sovereigns. That's why I said everybody's got to throw this moniker off their back porch like it doesn't exist. Can I finish? You don't ever want to take on the moniker. This is what's binding my brothers and sisters. Well, they don't know. So let me finish up, please. Everybody running around wanting to say they're a sovereign and using that vernacular, they're automatically going to castigate you into a box. And in that box is sovereign citizen, which is an oxymoron, which you don't want to be.
Right.
Period. So quit using words that are going to bind you up. You are sovereign by your own right to start with. Wickbow versus Hopkins. The king never has to say he's sovereign. Never. Not freaking never.
Exactly.
So quit using the damn word.
Exactly.
That's what I'm saying. Quit using a vernacular that's going to bind you up and cause you duress.
Right, but we might not be using them, but someone else might call us that, and we have to deflect that as well, Peter, because I didn't use that term, but that opposing counsel in one of my court cases filed a motion saying that I'm a sovereign. You know, she painted all those pictures of me. That's like calling people any other kind of term that you don't call yourself. I'm not using those terms, but someone else is pointing and saying, there she goes. She's that sovereign citizen weirdo lady. She's the one who put the box around.
Yeah. Right. Well,
I don't use that term. You know, they're going to freak out and say she's driving down the road like that.
Okay. Let's cut the wheat to the chaff. That DA, and she's a whore. She's nothing but a paid whore, because she's operating in commerce and she's having intercourse with everybody who will come to her bow. So she's now you could call her literally a whore, and it would actually fit and it would be applicable where sovereign doesn't, because she's acting in a capacity as having commerce, i.e. intercourse, and with trying to have dealings with you without your consent. So that makes her a whore. It doesn't matter what her price is. She's still a stinking whore, and you can prove that vernacular. So if they want to start casting words of dispersion, we can cast those that fit with them, because how much are you getting paid for this case, biatch? You know?
Right.
Yeah, because they're making money. They're what they're trying to do is draft your bonds.
And
then they're trying to antagonize us emotionally, because they're like, don't call me that. You know, so then she knows that she calls me names and I get provoked, that I can be provoked into a thing,
just to back both of you up on that statement, when they decide
you're gone, Kate. You're breaking up, or you're gone. I don't know. You're not speaking. Hello.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Now I do. Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, when I was kidnapped for that 28 days. In solitary confinement, one of the things that made me laugh, and I'm looking at it, and I made it very clear, is why are you putting sovereign/free man on the land crap on that document? I'm neither of those. And one of the things, and this is what I need people to understand, some of the things they listed underneath it were will be troublesome when asking simple questions and blah, blah, blah. So what they've done is they're painting the people around you with this false knowledge to make you look like a belligerent already. So lose the term.
Right, painting the picture. Yeah, right, painting the picture. Right.
Lose the terms, guys.
Well, like in the 1950s, Southern America,
and they go back to the Greeks. This is totally defeat.
Right, exactly. In the 1950s in Southern America, the town store was robbed, and so here comes a black guy. He's walking home.
That's the only reason I brought it up.
He doesn't have his own car. There goes the black guy. He must have done it, right? Why? Because he's walking down the street. He didn't do anything. Right. People will just name it out and call like, oh, there goes the sovereign weirdos. They cause trouble in the town. Go get them. We didn't do anything.
Right, they're looking for some victims because they have nothing better to do with their sorry-ass lives because they operate from bad intent. They have no honor.
And they're uneducated. They have no honor. They're uneducated. They're ignorant. And see, that's what I was asking both the supervisor clerk at the post office and the state trooper was to commit to being honorable with me in your transaction. You are obligated to honor this postal money order. I'm asking you directly. That I do not consent to be tricked. Are you going to trick me? I'm asking him before he even tries to trick. So if he pulls a trick, he's automatically in dishonor. Like, don't walk away with my document because I will give it to you, but I don't consent to you walking away with it. It seems like a simple thing, but I held him to it. And people are like, well, why does that matter? It matters completely. It matters.
Oh, it totally does. And just letting the if you're listening, if you can get onto the board and screen the callers for me ahead of time. We do have a couple of callers who have called in. I do not want to interrupt the flow of this show. So if you're a theater, just tag me on Skype and let me know. If you can go to the board and check screen for calls, that would be awesome. We
can take questions, Kate, if there's somebody that has a question.
Okay, Well, let's do that. And yeah, I've been bumped off the board only 3 times tonight, better than the 50 the other night. Okay, so I'm gonna go to the caller that's been on for the last hour, listening in intently. I'm sure everyone's riveted to this call. I can guarantee you that. It's beautiful. So I'm gonna go to area code 920. First 3 numbers 265. I'm gonna make your mic hot. You are live now. So caller from area code 920-265, you're calling outside the box. Questions or comments? Hello. I guess someone's just tuned in and listening. So I'll mute that back. There's one other caller I'll check with for you guys. Just give me a second here. Okay, area code 401. First 3 numbers 782. Your mic is hot. Well, sort of. I'm trying to get there. Okay, it's hot now. Caller from 401, area code 782, first 3 numbers. Questions or comments outside the box? You're on the air. Well, you were.
Hello?
There you are.
Oh, there she is.
Hi, Patrice. It's Glow.
Oh, that's a.
I believe you now, because everything was just like boom, boom, boom today. I don't know what the hell happened.
Gloria. Yeah,
oh, my God,
happened,
I don't want
Kate,
to know.
Kate, I actually, when I got back, after the whole state trooper thing and travel back, I actually tried to talk to Gloria, and she lives in Rhode Island. All the phones were out in Rhode Island at that time. They all went offline. Like,
what
big time, like in the news. Yeah. And then, as if that wasn't enough, there was an earthquake that hit Maine and trickled down into New Hampshire and Rhode Island to shake everybody. All last night. I'm not joking. Tell her, Gloria.
Oh, it's awful. It's awful here. It's so scary. It is so scary. I'm afraid they're just gonna like snuff me.
Nah, not gonna happen. Not gonna happen, love.
Oh God, that's what people have told me of. But it's I'm this little tiny thing, and it's like But anyway, Patrice and I have known each other for a long time, and I believe her now. Everything that you guys are talking about, because she was at my home, and we are working on a bunch of stuff, and I live right on the street, and there were things that were happening that it's like, and then she tells me, they pull your tail and you're like a screeching monkey. That's what she was like, and now that I'm like that. But anyway, the police were in on it. I mean, they harassed my daughter. My daughter has PTSD. I have PTSD. My son has PTSD from the court, from my kids having to reunification therapy with their sex offender.
Wow.
It was court-ordered, and the cops were in on it. After all this, my daughter had to be institutionalized 2 times for breakdowns.
Yeah, that's typical, Gloria. That's typical of the system. They want to keep people down, keep them in fear.
Terrorized, in fear.
Yeah.
But I came around, and my daughter's. She's in a criminal justice program. She's like zooming, and we're all disabled, but we're healing and we're healed. Not healed, but we'll never be healed. But Patrice is so on target. They just like. I've gone up to the clerk's office in Superior Court. Oh, I don't know what you're talking about. Well, where's my case? It's down in the next town, and it's not supposed to be there. And and they make you go in circles. And finally, I called the administrator. I said, you will never exploit my disability again, ever.
There you go.
And then by someone helping me, asked for an administrative hearing and put not my return address on it, another court's address on it, and then sent it express mail, got the delivery, the time, the person who signed it, and I called today and I said, well, who's this character so-and-so? It's not on the employee list for the state of employees working for the courts. I said, so who's signing your mail? I'm like, oh, my God. But in the next conversation, I said, I want to know where that envelope is, if the judge got it, and I would like to know by the end of this afternoon. I said, you will not exploit my disability ever again. Well, lo and behold, I get a phone call back from the administrator, the top clerk guy, And he said, well, the judge is making an appointment, and she wants you up here at 9:30, next Thursday morning for a status hearing. I said, thank you very much, just like that. And I'm like, I got off the phone, and I called Pete, and I'm like, oh, my God, shit's hitting the fan, But, it's unbelievable. I have court, because my daughter's disabled, I'm petitioning the court because the court is the one that made her disabled. Now she's turning 18 years old, and there's a law in Rhode Island. It says if your child is 18, and you can petition the court to continue child support until she's 21, or whatever the court deems necessary. So she has Office of Rehabilitation Services through the state of Rhode Island. She gets $15,000 a year tuition to go out of state to college. They delivered a freaking laptop to my door for her, all of the Dragon Reader stuff so she can use it when she's off to college in a different state. And now I subpoenaed that entity. The general counsel's coming down on my daughter's behalf, and it's just amazing how things are turning now, and I think I know why, and I'm just grateful. That's all, because of a good friend.
Exactly.
Have her on.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
this is a good study.
Last night I came home from work.
I encourage her to do things, and she does them.
All right. Hey, Gloria. Gloria.
I'm that screeching monkey because I'm still in this freaking police state.
Okay, Gloria, I'm gonna leave your mic hot. I've got one other caller here. I'm gonna ask for questions and comments. I'm gonna leave your mic hot.
You dropped off here.
Oh yeah, normal. Welcome to my world.
Okay.
Yeah.
Repeat what you just said because you blocked out.
Okay, Gloria, I'm gonna leave your mic hot. So you can jump in. Just be mindful of others. I just want to make sure that you feel included in this because you're as important as all of us. So I'm going to bring in the next caller in, area code 973. First three numbers 373. I'm making your mic hot. So any questions or comments for our wonderful guests or myself on Outside the Box as soon as it decides to work here. So area code 973 373. You are on the air. Questions or comments?
Yeah, hello?
Hello.
Hello. Yeah, this is Mark from Jersey.
Hey, Mark from Jersey. How are you?
Good.
Hey, forget about it. Hey, we don't have no more. We got no room for sauce in the coffee. Hey, forget about it. Yeah. What you talking about?
Hey, what's up, bro? How you doing?
That's my brother Marcus. Hey, I know everybody now.
Yeah.
How you doing, Pete?
I'm doing great, brother. Just trying to keep this, trying to make the ship go aground so we can all be landlubbers.
Oh man, I was listening to the call tonight, because I was communicating with Pete earlier because I heard you guys' last broadcast, and a lot of the things that you guys are talking about, I have heard before, maybe in passing, but not in such great detail as you deal with them here. Like, for example, the hypothecation, I've heard people mention it, but I've never heard anybody really come with it the way that you have, where I guess you say that when you sign something, whatever document it may be, because we're all in commerce, you want to actually put a box around that because it actually keeps them from actually hypothecating that document again?
Yes, it does. What you're doing is when you box something, I'll give an example that everyone is familiar with if they've ever got a passport. Anytime you fill out a passport application, there's a little box, and they make it very clear that you cannot write outside of the box, because what they're doing with that is they are making sure that they're not trespassing on international law, which is a high crime. So they want to make sure that they have your consent to bring you into the commercial jurisdiction, and they lift your signature off of that. When you get your passport, if you notice the copy of it on the passport, there's no box there. And if you want to become the bearer of a passport, all you have to do, instead of being the person to be the bearer, it's a bearer bond that you're dealing with, birth bonds. You are the bearer of that bond. You can cash it and use it whenever you want, and it's worth what it is. But I don't want to get into this because what I want people to do is to get off the plantation. What we're trying to do is a rearguard action to tear down the system on our way out. If the old crash and burn analogy, right? So
right. Well, Kate, that concept of high crime, I think, is what created the high tension in my case. Showing an international driver permit and then boxing my signature created a lot of tension at the post office.
It created an international incident, is what it created, and that's what I'm trying to.
You Air Force folks, man, you just can't keep the peace. I mean, come on. You should have been in the Navy, damn it.
This is why I'm trying to get things into a very easy to understand for everyone, and the power that they wield. So what you need to do on your passport, if you want to be the bearer, is just put a box around the signature that they have copied as a result of UCC 3-419, making you an accommodating party to something that you have no idea. And what it does is it eliminates their ability to remonetize it. Now it goes from a negotiable instrument to a non-negotiable, which takes you out of commerce. That's the matter. That's the key. Box your signature, end the game. Like that.
Wow.
So let me ask this then. So basically, if you're dealing with their court system, which of course is all commerce, no law there, just basically commerce and commerce maxims. So you're saying if you sign something with regard or with respect to having to deal with court, and you box your signature, then that does something else to the case.
Oh yeah. Oh, big time.
It terminates the paper, brother. They can't hypothecate it. It puts it in the box. It's a done deal.
Something else that you need to,
I'm sorry.
something else that you need to keep in mind when you box something. Not only have you lifted it off the paper, it's not there anymore. It makes the paper worthless, but also
they can't hypothecate it.
Used Admiralty Blue, did you not?
Okay.
Well, you broke up, Kate. We lost you last. So you said,
what?
Can you repeat?
Okay.
Yes, can you repeat?
Yeah. What color ink did you use on when you boxed the postal money order? Blue?
Oh, I was using blue ink. Yeah, I had blue ink.
Admiralty Blue. What Patrice did was she used exactly the right color in commerce. Okay. No idea, Patrice, what you've done. I'm trying to get you. I need everyone to get this. I've been talking about this for a couple of years now. What Patrice has done is she took it out of commerce with Commerce Inc. If you want to make a powerful document that is actually your words, you handwrite it and you draw a box around the entirety of the page, just on inside the edge of the page, in red ink. Red ink is blood, blue ink is admiralty, and black is death. If you use black, that's why anytime you go in the bank, they don't have blue ink, they have black ink. They want dead people coins. Okay?
Yeah,
so, okay,
I always carry my own blue pen. Yeah, I always carry blue Uniball liquid ink pen.
Patrice, let Marcus get a snap in there for a second.
I just got an epiphany here then. So what you're saying is that if you receive anything, let's say, for example, I'm in Jersey, and I can tell you this system really is the armpit of this whole nation, okay?
Yep.
Hands down, they got it. But the way that they do people here, incredible. I mean, just incredible what they get away with. But what you're telling me now, and I want to make sure that I'm clear on this, is that when they send you something, whoever it may be, if you take a red pen and you draw a box around the entire contents of that, what's on that paper, right along the edge, now you've lifted it off the paper, and now it really has no force and effect.
Well, it's more a back and forth, and you have to think in terms of contracting. Now, if you received something that had a box on the page, which I have a living example nearby, if you receive an offer that has a box around it, generally it'll come in black. That is their offer, which is not even on the paper. All right, so when you do something in return, it's not doing to their paperwork. You leave it as is. It's what you put in your intent and how you box it. This is not about canceling something else, but you must counter it with an affidavit. And if you want it taken verbatim, all pieces, you wrap it in red ink.
So even a conditional acceptance and an affidavit will be taken verbatim if you box it.
If it's yours, yes. If it's somebody else's, that's theirs. But what you're doing is you're actually putting your living word to paper. It carries the weight. And Peter, if you want to share that little story.
Hey, I got an Admiralty story. Hey, this is a Navy story I just got from a brother of mine not but 48 hours ago. Anyways, he was in the Navy and he was posted on ship, and he was a storekeeper, first class, petty officer. That's an E6, and they had a lot of sailorettes on the ship that didn't like to work. So what they would do, because he actually did his job and he expected them to do theirs, they created sexual harassment lie charges against him. He had about 18 charges. Well, he beat all the charges. That wasn't the issue because there was no proofs. It was just they were mad because he was actually making them work, and they needed to take some Midol, and their kiddies hurt and all that stuff because they were whiners. They weren't. That's why women shouldn't be on a damn ship, folks. Anyways, sounds sexist, but yeah. Well, no, they do serve a useful purpose, and they can make some money. So, anyways, yeah, they can do out there on that ship. It's all good. Anyways, this is not what the story's about. The story is this. My brother had been so traumatized from the lies and the corruption of these girls' lies that he beat all the charges, went to court-martial, and he said, "How do I get off the ship?" Because he says my name is besmirched and it's been bastardized, and this is just so wrong. So the Master Chief was a buddy of his. A Master Chief is an E9 in the Navy. For those of you who don't know, that's God. He's a water walker. He can get you orders to Adak, Alaska, or Podunk in the Mojave Desert, So you don't piss in the Master Chief's cornflakes. Anyways, this Master Chief was a buddy of his as an E9, and he was an E6, my buddy. Anyways, but what's so funny, Patricia?
Yeah, just keep going, Pete. Keep going.
I'm the Energizer Rabbit, all right? You gotta let me get to the other
side. Markings. Go ahead, keep going.
Hey, Patrice, if you keep laughing, I'm gonna mute you because it's cutting out the signal.
I'm sorry, but
mute your phone.
I'm gonna send you a Quaalude from the 70s.
Yeah, we love the laugh.
Right, so
Peter, before you go on, I just want to let Gloria know I had to mute the mic because we're getting a bit of feedback from it. So don't be offended, Marcus. You're still hot because you're interacting here. So Peter, carry on.
All right. Anyways, so he got the charges beat and all that, and he was just said, okay, I don't want to be on this ship no more. So this Master Chief, he was a buddy of his. He said he was telling the Master Chief, he said, how the hell do I get off this ship? I said, what? I don't want here anymore. My name is besmirched. I'm moving forward. I want out. The Master Chief says, you write up your chit. Okay, in the Navy, we have what's called a chit, C-H-I-T, not S-H-I-T, but C-H-I-T, and it's a request document. If you want leave, or if you want to go to shore, or 3-day 92, or a 72, some time off, or basically it's like a permission slip, folks. But it's an Admiralty document, and it goes through your chain of command goes to the captain. Well, this document that he filled out was for a request to be removed off the ship immediately. And, well, he had to go through his OIC and his his department heads and all this other stuff, and it didn't. They have these little boxes to the right, either approved or disapproved. Even if it went through all your chain of command and every one of them signed approved, the captain can still disapprove your request. Well, when the Master Chief says, if you put, he told him, he enlightened him issue of putting his information, the whole thing, in a box. So a quarter-inch in around the line of the document, he did a full red box, and he requested to get off the ship immediately. And it went all the way up to the captain. Didn't matter that it didn't get approved through the middle ranks. It went to the captain, and it was a mandatory request that had to be honored, and it was all in the box. And the Master Chief said, if you tell anybody I told you this, I'll deny it refutably, because only the E9s know this stuff, folks. I mean, this Master Chief, matter of fact, when my brother was talking to some of the other chiefs and E6s and E7s, they were saying, how the hell did you know to put that stuff in the box? He goes, they haven't talked about this stuff for 40 years. Folks, here's a verifiable proof from a Navy brother in the Admiralty, and the chit went to the top. It got signed off and approved. He was off that ship in less than 14 days. It had to get approved. Otherwise, the captain would have had to go deal with this matter with the admiral of the 7th Fleet or whatever as a denial of process because it was a mandatory request, and he put it in the box. Because he heard our show a couple days ago about talking about the damn box, and he goes, I put my shit in the box, and I got off that damn ship. And, folks, so the power of the box is, yeah, I know, the girls all got the boxes, but, hey, it's all good. We can take the box back, folks.
And isn't it, hey, Peter, and that was just a coincidence, that all this happened all at the same time, and it's just a coincidence that the show was called Outside the Box. But,
right, folks, all these coincidences. You got to love it.
Just coincidences. So, Marcus, keep going, buddy. Any more questions here?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, please. So okay, I think I'm clear on this now that whenever you're dealing with this commercial system and you're drafting up paper or you're drafting a presentment of some type to actually give or offer to them, and you actually box it the way that you said, now it becomes a whole separate matter because they can't deal with it the way that they do, let's say, in the normal course of doing business that they do. They have to deal with this in a different way now.
Well, it's true.
Because they no longer have an encumbered, no longer have an unencumbered signature. It's now encumbered. That's a good word. That's the word of the day, folks. Go look it up, encumbered and unencumbered, and you'll understand what it means. Hey, I like to do a little wordsmithing myself, but that is the keys to the kingdom, because when you give it unencumbered, i.e. open-ended, without no reservation of right or anything like that, this basically gives them carte blanche authority to hypothecate all this stuff at will because you didn't reserve a right and they figure you gave it over. It's like signing for a bank account and with an unencumbered signature. You gave over, just like when you register your car, just like when you file for a driver's license. You gave them an unencumbered signature, which allowed them to hypothecate bonds in your name. So you always want an encumbered. So do you understand now? So once you put an encumberment on it, it basically it's like a desk weight. This is going to fall to the floor. It can't go nowhere. There's no more rehypothecation of anything of that signature. It's a dead letter, folks.
And something else, just to jump in here, Peter. Regardless of what it may or may not be in its fullest context. What it is a major anchor that they have to work around. And I mean, these are little tricks they've been using for a long time. Another thing that a lot of people don't realize, when they put their signature across a line on a check, it's not actually a line, it's microprint. Get a magnifying glass out, you'll see it. The microprint is the company's underwriting of that document. And as soon as you sign your name on that line, what you have done is you've created yourself as you are now the underwriter of the document, because you've crossed the line. Look at all these magical little sayings that were always there, but we didn't know what the hell we were saying. And like I tell people, if you're out in left field, you're not in your right mind. And that's where we need to be. We need to be creative, and we need to get outside the box and start dealing these guys back with a whole lot of love and a whole lot of fun. And I do have a lot of fun. And I tell you, I've been through the mill, and I look at them now and I laugh. There is no fear here. It's about, guys, you know what? I'm on to your game. I know exactly what to say, when to say it. And that's when you become the invincible, when you know who you are. And Patrice, what a beautiful example. And Peter, you guys, Tony, are just amazing examples of showing people exactly what it means to know thyself. Thank you. You're living up to my family motto. What a coincidence. Thompson, Noska Tiefsum, know thyself. Get over it. Carry on.
Hey, boo-boo. Hey, boo-boo, how about a nice picnic basket?
Hey, yeah, and just for Marcus, forget about it.
Hey, forget about it. Hey, have a cup of coffee with your sausage. Hey, forget about it.
Hey, forget about it. Forget about it. It's no thing. Forget about it.
Hey,
okay,
go park the car. Hey, go park the car, will you? Hey, forget about it.
You
So
Jersey
now
boy.
I'm clear. Now I'm clear. Now I'm actually clear on that, and that makes sense. And now it's actually caused more of a paradigm shift for me because, like I said, I've seen people go into court, and some of them get wins because they get them hands down on some technicalities. But most people that I see get steamrolled, flat like day-old beer that's been left open, steamrolled, and they can have a well put together presentation. It can cover all the points, but when you get in there, it's like all of a sudden there's these games going on. All of a sudden they don't have to follow rules, or they don't have to give you what it is that you say that you want. You say, hey, they've damaged me, they've injured me, or hey, they have gone on ahead and they have violated our contract. We have well, we don't have to honor that. We can go ahead and make a new one. Like, what are you doing? Or when you address the issue of, okay, like I heard you guys talking about the hazard bonds, but also I've heard people address the issue with regard to attorneys and their bar registration and their charter mandate, which is that they can only represent employees or federal or officers of the corporate United States and their agencies. That's it.
Correct.
That's all their charter allows for.
However, can I give you a point of clarity on that issue, folks?
Please.
The minute you filed a 1040, you became one of their fiction franchisees as a corporate officer. You just didn't get the memo.
Okay,
You are an officer or the franchisee.
Okay, guys, I've got the email that Michael sent around, and I do want to share this because this will bring even more clarity to those that are having any questions at this point to the power of truth. So here it is in a nutshell, all right? So you guys can hear me okay?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Okay, where are we? Oh, I had it, and here it is. I just got to open it up. Okay, so this is a brief summary of what happened. This is Michael, who was in court yesterday, and Peter had the opportunity to talk to him one-on-one. So here's a brief summary.
It was this morning.
This morning. Okay, so here's the email that we got, and I forwarded it to you, Peter. I've been trying to tell you that all night, and I haven't had a chance, and I keep forgetting to. Here it is. So here's what happened. The judge asked me at least 4 times if I was blank blank, all caps name, and I consistently responded with, I am the beneficiary of that estate. After my last response, the judge said, well, I don't know what the beneficiary is. Again, trickery, these guys. I said the beneficiary of the all caps name, Michael blank blank. I then said, if you need a name, I am called Michael, and you can call me Michael. The judge then asked if I had a birth certificate for Michael blank blank. I responded with, yes, I have one right here, and you may use it to discharge this court case. I'm here to settle the accounts.
Hello, settle the accounts.
Now, I need to finish this in sequence. People are going to be listening to this. Okay, I'm going to say it again. The judge then asked if I had a birth certificate for Michael blank blank. I responded, yes, I have one right here, and you may use it to discharge this court case. I am here to settle the accounts. I handed the judge the birth certificate, and she thoroughly examined it. The judge then told me, after mumbling back and forth with the prosecutor, that the prosecutor was going to nolle prosequi the case. The judge finished by saying, Michael blank blank is free to leave, and Michael, you are free to leave. Thank you. I said thank you and left. Now take a look again at what the judge said to me. Both the estate Michael blank blank and the living man Michael are free to leave. Peace, love, and light to you all, Michael. Now, let's have some fun. I'm going to look up nolle prosequi. We got 13 minutes, so let's do a little bit of a wrap-up here, Peter, Patrice, and let's take this puppy home because this is the show of shows. This is the show you've all been working for. So carry on.
Right. Yeah, well, I think Gloria had some things happen today because she and I have similar clowns in the Rhode Island court that have tormented us. We've got the same cast of characters. So sometimes I'm able to help Gloria do things, and this administrative stuff has been an important one that I've been trying to educate people on.
Okay, Patrice.
I know there's a lot of movement in that. Yes?
Patrice, I've opened Gloria's line again. There was a bit of feedback, so we keep in mind we got like 11 minutes, and I need a couple of minutes to wrap up. So just keep that in mind.
Yes. Yes. So the administrative thing has been hard to teach because it's been a fast-moving, unfolding stuff that we've been learning, and I know Rod Class has done a lot of really good work in that. He's educated a lot of people, and to really distinguish between the administrative and the judicial, and even listening to James Thomas talk about how we have to have ways to communicate with their administrative processes. There's the bridge, there's ways of dealing with the legal fiction, there's ways of communicating with them, which of course was the word my Wyoming trooper used with me yesterday repeatedly. I need to communicate with you. I don't know how many times you said that. Yeah.
I need to get this out because people need to hear this. I just used the term nolle prosequi. Okay, it's N-O-L-L-E is the first word. The second is prosequi, P-R-O-S-E-Q-U-I. And, of course, you know I look at words differently. This is an amazing pair of words, guys. What it is, it's a noun, and what the abbreviation is nolle pros, and which it is. This is the legal definition of nolle prosequi. A declaration that the plaintiff in a civil case or the prosecutor in a criminal case will drop prosecution of all or part of a suit or indictment.
Damn.
That is a slam dunk, Michael. Oh my God. Okay, so I don't care how many times you have to listen to this show to get empowered, but if this show does not empower you tonight, people, go back to sleep because I'm going to send you pillows.
No, they took one of my Quaaludes. That's what happened. They got a hold of my Quaalude stash and they helped themselves. And by the way, Michael is. Hey, let's get this straight. Michael is in the Divine Province, folks.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know something, guys? Pay attention. This is the show of shows. This is would have been my mom's 70th birthday. This is the third show today. Just a coincidence, okay? The number 7 from 70, okay? Numerology. And we got 3 shows today, which is 3 times 7 is 21, which is the number, the Greek letter of the spirit. Psi. PSI. Look at that. It looks like we put some PSI into this balloon, huh?
Yep.
I can say this. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Marcus.
No, I was just going to say that I've listened to shows before, but never one like this, where not only do you talk about the situations that are going on, but you actually give people remedy so that they can go and do exactly what it is they need to do, and that can be duplicated. I have not heard a show like this.
That's outside the box for you. We're normal. This is a normal show for us, guys. We just bring your friends. We talk about all this stuff all the time. About time you caught on. I love you.
Hey, Marcus, you need to go over to my audios page at suijuris.me and catch up on the back shows I've done over the last week and a half, and it'll blow your brains out, bro. I'm talking about stuff that. This is the meat and potatoes. They've been jamming up our show now for the last 3 weeks. Every time Kate comes on the call, they've been blowing her out the door because we're dealing with issues of substance, real substance, because they're caught with their hand in the proverbial cookie jar on a whole different level, bro.
And I do have to share this because of the nature of the two-spirit being that I am. Every day is now declared International Hug a Trainee Day. So there you go. The trainees bring it.
Oh, God.
Gotta keep it real, gotta keep it fun. That's my game, and truth is fun. I'm having a field day, guys. You have no idea the birthday gift this was for in the ether for the energy that was my mom, and I cannot thank you guys enough.
Patrice, could I interrupt?
Yeah, jump in.
Patrice, tell them what Chrissy, she was 15 and a half, blew him away for not getting on the family court seat. Oh
yeah, we last year
she's in training, my daughter.
I talk to Christy a lot, so we've got a couple of young, bright minds that are coming up. Of course, we want to encourage the youth, right? So she spoke out at a judicial nominating commission, a public forum, about her story with a guy that was due to he was on the list to become a judge, probably their top pick. And by the end of the night, after she spoke and a couple of others of us spoke about what he had done, his chicanery in the courts, by the end of the night, the commission, the 9-panel commission, had not only not given him a single vote, his name was struck from the list of nominations completely.
Oh, you guys didn't muddy the water. You didn't muddy the water on a judge to be, did you? How dare you?
Right.
Here.
So
That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
She was only
Well
15 and a half.
Oh, then maybe.
Yeah.
Can you imagine her in 5 years when she actually knows something?
She's
And we need to get her in the divine province yesterday.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
beautiful,
Yes.
beautiful. And I do want to get people to know that they need to go to the Postmaster General NA. I've got the site up here. I did have it up. Oh, I was checking mail because I wanted to find that document. But I need people to get this information stacked, because this is where you're going to find yourself back at home. It's postmastergeneral.org. You guys need to get there and get off the plantation. What we're presenting to you are the means to do a rearguard action as you do that. And that's it. We're walking between the worlds here, guys, on this show. And that's the perfect singularity of the duality. And I got to tell you guys, just the energy and everything you've shared tonight is amazing. I will say this, for those listening, if you want to get a copy of the show, it's downloadable right after the show. If you're listening, just wait for it, refresh your page, and you can right-click, download this episode, and save target as, and we'll get it on your computer. I would ask that you get this show viral as quickly as possible. Make this the gift of gifts. Truth is the biggest and best gift of all. And also, you can go to freedomreigns.us to also locate the chat room and locate the different archived episodes. So I want you guys to know that. Make this available to everyone. Don't be selfish. Pass it on.
Oh, hey, by the way, when they go to the new cover page of the PMNGA or whatever, what you just gave them, we got the new $100 bill on there, and the Postmaster General actually posted it on the site on the very front page when you go in through the door. And I was posting that on Roto-Rooter earlier this morning, and it's now on the front and center page. Folks, some interesting stuff happening. Go to the PMG site and go take a look at this $100 bill and get the game.
Again, busting them before they get a chance to put it into action.
Yep.
All right.
It's beautiful, folks. Hey.
Absolutely. Hey, Tony, I talked enough tonight, and I haven't heard enough of my co-host here on Outside the Box. So we got like 4 minutes if you want to do a quick wrap up, and actually we got 3.5 minutes. So do a quick wrap up, and if you guys want to quickly just give your sites a plug, Peter, you and Tony, is loveovermind.wordpress.com. All the links are there. Take her away, Tony. Finish the show.
Okay, thank you, Kate. Some incredible information tonight. I'm sure people have been just absolutely astounded. The chat room's been absolutely stunned. Anyway, regardless, there's more information to come, but the point of the matter is if people can go to awakeconsciousawareness.com and download some basic information as to what's going on with this situation, then we can follow up with Kate's information, Santos, and obviously Divine Province stuff. I'm going to pass over now to Pete, and good night, and thanks to everybody for listening.
Thank you, Tony.
Thanks, Tony.
Thank you, Patricia.
Hey,
Thank you. Hey, everybody. Beautiful show. The light's on and somebody is home. It's all good.
Be inspired, right? Be inspired. Have your courage. Go out there and be bold.
Do you know what I love? Do you know what I love? Here we are with like 2 minutes and 25 seconds left. There's no more truth that we need to share. You just got it all. So what I'm going to say is when I finally get a chance to hang out with you, Patrice, go on by and shoot.
Oh, you broke up. What are you saying?
Powerful, powerful truth tonight.
Yeah.
And we're bringing it home. We're bringing it home. And we have waited years for this, guys. This is, I got to tell you, this is the show of shows, and I've been at this for almost 5 years now. And I cannot remember in all the shows that I've ever done a show with this kind of energy and truth all wrapped up in a 2-hour episode. It just blows me away. And I can't thank you enough. You've given a gift of gifts to mankind. You really have. Oh, you have just pissed off the Pope something fierce, and I love it.
I tell you what, I don't even keep talking anymore, Kate. The energy.
That's what I live for. No.
Yeah, well, we got 90 seconds left. That's why they're not cutting me out, because they know we've already spilled the beans.
There's nothing.
Okay, I do.
Here we come.
Yeah, exactly. I want to do a few plugs for radio stations that I'm associated with and different people. I want to do a shout out to Jim. I'm going to see you Friday, brother, and I'm looking forward to seeing my puppy. I love you. I want to do a shout out for QLP Multimedia. Johnny Guzman does great shows. You can locate him on Facebook. QLP Multimedia. We got awakeradio.co.uk, making a difference in the world. We have TruthCentralRadio.com, Tony.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, and we got thesechangingtimes.ning.com. That's times with a Z or a Z, depending where you're from. We have got so many people. You can get me on Facebook at kate.renee.5, the number, and my email, katierenee@live.ca. It's on the blog page. Make yourself available. I am here to serve. That's what I came here to do, and you guys just make my job so easy. So easy.
Hey, let's do a shout-out, one shout-out for suijuris.me. That's where I post all the audios on the audio section, so that's Sui, S-U... Huh?
Yeah, SUIJURIS.me.
Very good.
All right, love to all tuning in to Outside the Box. We'll catch you on Friday night. Love you.
Very good. Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye.
Good night, guys.
Good night. Love you.
Night, Tony.
Good
Bye,
night.
Patrice.
Love
you
you.
all.
Everyone, good night, and thank you very much.
Thank you. God bless.
Let me see if I can get it to work. 1 second. Let me go over to where we're at. Okay. I know I sent it just a minute ago. I think I sent it off to Santos's box with Deatra, Freedom Reigns, and Tony. The Caffer it's at http://caffer1.com/ and it's a clickable site that opens right up into Brother Walter's, and it's got a plethora of most outstanding information. It's one of the best sites in America, or in the world, I would say, as far as covering this Caffer issue. If you haven't got, matter of fact, I can't believe it. Brother Jerry, the one I sent you the 15-minute video of, he's on Walter's site now too, because Brother Walter can really take you to the deep end. As far as on the technical end of it, it's sort of like listening to a CPA, because he gets it. It's so right and tight, but it's like watching paint dry. So Brother Jerry's over on his site as well too, and I posted that 15-minute video earlier in the day. So, matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and post it at suijuris.me. I've already told Mike I would like to get it posted on our videos page, because it's 15 minutes of mind-bending truth that will literally, it'll make you mad, folks. It'll make you mad, because they've been playing hide the sausage right before our very eyes. There's over 100 trillion. If you were to add up all the counties in America on how much they have in surplus funds and they're crying poverty, you would be there'd probably be public hangings by the morning. Sort of like what the bankers are doing. The $110 trillion sitting in these kitties, in these coffers, and they act like they're broke because they're only showing you one side of the books. They're not showing you the asset side, where they say, oh, yeah, well, that's to fund all the retirements, which they're trying to beat people out of that on a regular basis. They're, across this nation of ours, they're cutting their pay by 20% just to be, and making them happy to be having a good slave job on the slave plantation, and they're screwing their brothers' eyes out, and they've got trillions, folks. I mean, trillions. So here we say one thing, but we do another, and we plead poverty. But if you kept a second set of books the way they kept a second set of books, you're going to jail under their system. But they do it, and it's legal. They've been doing it since 1946, folks. They've been posting it every year since 1946. And if you have an inkling to find out what the CAFR numbers are for yours, for your county, you can just go to your website and pull up your own county, and they're not hiding them. They're right there. They just don't explain to you where all the sausage is hiding. And I think I explained earlier in reference to the CAFRs that they have private auditors coming from outside, and they're only telling those auditors, those private auditors, and they're not showing them all the stuff. They're just showing them what numbers they want them to see. So, folks, the chicanery goes far, wide, and deep. It is another proverbial rabbit hole. But, the upside is when you know, you know. And now when the masses know on a huge scale, we're not buying the song and dance no more. Matter of fact, for all those folks paying property taxes, they don't even need your money for the property tax. They got more money than God. All these systems are self-sufficient, self-funded, fully funded. Their retirements are fully funded. And they'll cry poverty, and you're buying the song and dance. Now, there should be front lawn town hall meetings in every county in America on the shake-shifter crap they've been pulling on their brothers and sisters under the guise of that they're broke. So here's another kielbasa sandwich they got us eating. Some more intercourse we're getting from the Commerce Department.
Pete, that's what I love about you, man. You just tell it exactly as it is. This is not a children's show because, well, it can be. It depends on what level of awareness you're at, and some people need to be talked to. I don't care. I know some really, middle-aged, older adults that need to be talked to like children because that's the way the system has conditioned them. And it takes a while to break that program, but we're awakening in a grand order. We're watching it firsthand every day. Beautiful.
Yeah, well, feel free to post Walter's Capper site at your site because they, if you want to find out where all the sausage is hiding, hey, I'm a Yankee. Hey, forget about it. We like Italian sausage. They got enough to feed us every day of the week for the next 100 years of our lives. They got plenty of funds, folks. They just play and hide the sausage. So it's, we covered bonds. We covered the birth certificate securitization scam. We've covered multiple of topics. And after this week, I probably won't be doing many topics on this because I'm fixing to bring the paradigm shift over to the divine province for those who are ready. So if I will give them the meat and potatoes. I will bring them a heaping plate of filet mignon.
Hello.
So you don't have.
Hello.
Yep.
Okay, I just I just got a call come in. I just want to make sure if it's Patrice. And area code 4. Is that you, Patrice?
Yes, it's me.
Yeah, there we go. I just want to make sure you're there. Your mic. I'm leaving your mic hot. We're going to let Peter finish, then he can bring you into the call because, Peter, you need to hear this story. And Tony, the world needs to hear this story. And remember,
hey, Patrice, I sent you a couple Xanax so you could slow down for me and a Quaalude. So, hey, I'm a Yankee. I talk fast, but you got me beat 3 times a Sunday, and I listen fast, too, and you're killing me. I love you, sweetheart, but you're killing me over here.
What I'm going to ask you, Patrice, and I got to tell, I know exactly why, because the excitement of what's been going on, it would make me talk 4 times faster. But what I'm going to just be mindful that you have people that need to hear your story concisely because this is such a beautiful story. And I want you to talk about the cloud at the very end and the cop and everything else. So, Peter,
I'm going to bring Patrice in and I'm going to say, hey, Patrice, take your time, take a breath. It's all good. Hey, hey, I was in the Navy. Hey, I had to learn to slow down a little myself. I mean, you were in the Air Force, or whatever. And you were a captain in the Air Force?
Yes.
Go figure. An Admiralty configuration again. All these captains. Well, that's all right. We're bringing the ship on shore, sweetheart. We're all going to be seagoing instead of swabbies. We're going to be landlubbers. It's beautiful. I love the analogies. but I want to hear your story, and you can take your time. Sweetheart, we got 2 hours, and you don't have to get it in 5 minutes. I promise you, we will listen. Hey, I'm just as bad. I get excited. I forget to take my Quaalude in the morning, and here it goes. Pete goes on a tear, and Pete forgot his medication again today.
And you know what, Peter? You've nailed it. And I got to tell you, Patrice, I don't care if you take up the last hour and 45 minutes of this show, hon, to get this story across. Take your time, and I want people to hear what victory is all about. And we have others that came in today that we need people to hear about, because until people see, ego needs to see proof. Truth needs no proof. It needs no defense. But what people do need to...
They shut me down.
Fly off.
Okay, I'm here.
Take her away.
Anyways, I really don't want to belabor the hell out of Kaffir. It's self-evident if they just go to the site and they can start trolling in it. I don't want to waste my breath. I want to get to some meat and potatoes and to some truth tonight. So I'm really not wanting to digress a whole bunch. But let me share with you, Patrice. Brother Michael had to go to the ecclesiastical court system, and he put the baby to bed in short order. It was beautiful. No issues. He knew who he was. He stayed in his capacity, knowing who he was as a man, not a fiction. They knew he knew. He showed him his birth certificate bond, and the case is no longer.
Hey, and welcome to Outside the Box, show of shows these days. I'm your host, Kate of Gaia. Boy, this is 3 for 3 today, and look at the All-Stars, Peter and Tony. Hopefully, I sent an email to Patrice. Hopefully, she will call tonight. I'm just waiting to find that out, because I want her story shared. Victory after victory after victory. We finally have these guys cold where we want them. We always knew we would, and we always knew it had to be simple. And what saith you, Peter and Tony? Welcome.
It's round 3. I guess we're looking for a knockout.
Yeah, well, we had the knockout. We've already been making that well known to everyone. So I just had a comment.
Okay.
Here we go again.
Anyway.
Starting the show just right. Hey,
yeah.
Did you expect anything different?
Yeah, there we go, huh? Didn't take them long, did it? This is so normal. You guys, okay, let's try that again. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
There we go. Tony?
Yep. We're here.
You know the routine, Tony. You hear me cutting out, just jump all over, okay?
Okie dokie. Got you.
All right, love you guys. We're going 3 for 3 today. We did this morning with awakeradio.co.uk, Peter and myself. Then we joined Tony 4 hours ago for a 2-hour shot at thesechangingtimesradio.ning. That's times with a Z or a Z, depending on which part of the world you're from. And here we are on freedomreigns.us. That's the home page with Outside the Box. So, yeah, Pete, we're going to knock this one right out of the park because the knockout punch is here.
Yep.
So where do you want to start? I mean, hey, we've been over the grid today. Pumped, ready to rock and roll here.
Yep. Oh, hell. Well, for starters, I posted it on your site so you can share everybody how to get to let me see. Let me pull it up. Of course, my computer's sticking and, all the fun stuff. The case is done. It's beautiful, and just wanted to share a little success story with you. But I want you to get on your soapbox, and I want you to take your time. Because if you don't, I'm coming up to wherever you're at, and I'm going to put a Quaalude in your water, and we're going to get you on my page. All right, I love you enough to you can take your time. You have the floor, and I'm going to sit back and relax because I've been on this damn phone all damn day. This is my third show, and I'm wore out.
You have your orders, Patrice. You have your orders.
Hey, Rear Admiral Goslin has just commissioned you to move forward into the bow, and it's all good, and take your time. We want to get the memo tonight. We want to get the memo, so just take your time.
Hey,
okay,
Patrice.
this is a good story.
Yeah, go.
But you're the one who instigated it, actually, Peter, because, I listen, I take it in, and I go, note to self, next time I'm in this situation, this is what I'm going to do. So there were some things, since the seminar, in early September, we're coming up on, I guess, 5 or 6 weeks out since that faithful turning of the corner for a lot of us with the Divine Providence, right? So, as I told you, and you and I didn't really connect, Pete, when we were there, but I told you the day I left, I put the diplomatic ID and the international driver's permit in my wallet and turned the corner and made my copies and noticed people the very next day. So, I left the hotel with printouts in my backpack and started mailing. So me and the post office are familiar, friends. And you had talked about, and then in the ensuing weeks, it's this whole learning, okay, so now I have it. I have these tools. I know how I need to learn how to operate the tools. It's the unfolding education and getting comfortable and, some measure of mastery. So people feel, and I know this because some people have emailed me that I exchanged contact information from the seminar, felt nervous. They have the tools in their hands, but they've been hesitant to use them. And I've been a little bit more bold, as you guys know.
Well, and let me interject something just for a second. See, we're going to have some dialogue. We're going to have some dialogue tonight. This is where we're going with this. This is good stuff. Everybody operates from a different paradigm. What's in between their ears, just because they came over doesn't mean they're psychologically to the other side of the fence. So it's going to take people a few minutes, and that's fine.
And I understand we actually have a term for that in the officer corps. It's called cognitive readiness. Not everybody, we can equip them, we can organize, train, and equip the troops, but if they don't have the cognitive